Welcome back to the lab. It is your old Professor Pilk, and we are once again going to be talking about raid builds for the upcoming Chesnaught Raid. Now, we talked earlier about Hisuian Zoark, easily my favorite build. Goldingo, probably the most effective build. And Oranguru, mine is a Japanese Oranguru, because I got through a Wonder Trade. Oranguru, who is basically an amalgam to Slowbro. Now, one thing we haven't talked about is using other Raidmon in raids. We've really never done that before. It's not been a highly effective move until I think today. So recently we got Decidueye. Decidueye is a really substantial Pokemon for this event because Grass is one of those. Grass is not basically defended against in any way. Neither is Ghost. So you've got just a plethora of moves here to work with. Now, I'm going to make some changes. As you can see here, I'm actually working on getting Dartrix here up to Decidueye. I'm just about out of the XP items and the rare candies in order to make that happen. So gotta do this naturally, so to speak. But I think Decidueye is going to be a great build, and I just don't want to change anything about my Raidmon. I want to keep my Raidmon pretty much at peak. Now, item-wise, obviously, you don't want a Shell Bell. This one's running an Everstone. That's just for breeding. You really want to put a Shell Bell on your Decidueye because you're going to need that healing. Now, I don't know if it's actually super duper important because of the moveset, but we really just want to be able to affect this as much as humanly possible. We want to make sure that we don't lose at any battles here just because of something silly. Now, this is kind of like a safe play, so to speak, because the Ghost Tera type is also going to prevent you from taking a lot of physical damage. The Grass Tera is actually, or the Grass moves aren't defended against, and there's nothing offensively, at least that we can see right now in the build, that could damage Grass. Now, that could change once the build drops, I will say. They could throw us for a loop. They could put something weird in there that we didn't foresee. But at the moment, I don't see anything that is going to be tremendously damaging to Grass. I think Grass is going to take normal damage in most all these situations. Again, assuming I'm right in that regard. We'll see what happens in a few hours. But move-wise, actually I should say from the Tera type-wise, this is the Flying Tera. This is the one that dropped initially with the event. You're going to want a Grass Tera because of what we're about to do. Now, when it comes to the ability, personal opinion, I would say Overgrow is going to be a much better ability than Long Reach. So definitely make sure that your Pokemon has Overgrow. That is going to be a very, very, very good build for this. Moveset-wise, we are going to open up with Grass Terrain. That essentially is just going to increase the amount of damage you're doing with Grass. And notice that Grass is our DPS. Once you do Grass Terrain, I would then do Nasty Plot 3 times. And then Grass Pledge is going to be our main DPS. Grass Pledge has a hidden ability, and that is if somebody else is using Water Pledge or Fire Pledge, that it will increase the amount of damage that Grass Pledge does up to a base power of 150. So do some math here. If we have Nasty Plot 3 times, we'll max that out. That means your special attack is at level 6. Grassy Terrain is going to increase the amount of damage. Terastallizing will increase the amount of damage. Grass Pledge is going to annihilate your opponent. Now, unfortunately, you can't do a whole lot about your opponent defensively, but if you run into any problems, obviously you have Shell Bell. I think by the time you start doing Grass Pledge, turn 6, or not even turn 6, turn 4 or 5, essentially Grass Pledge is going to be doing enough healing with the Shell Bell. Until that point, if you run into any problems, you take any really big damage or anything like that, definitely use Giga Drain. That will help you out. And it's just basically a way that you can get a little bit of extra healing out there. So open up a Grassy Terrain, 3 Nasty Plots, Grass Pledge, you should be fine. Giga Drain is just kind of our backup in case you need just that little bit of HP somewhere there in the middle. That way we don't have to do cheer heals or anything like that. We can keep all that kind of where we need it. Now, I haven't done any EV training on this Pokemon. We've done some just basically battling with him. But if I was going to EV train this mon, I would go all the way with special attack and all the way with HP. And I know HP isn't a very good stat on this Pokemon, but and this Pokemon typically is more of a physical attacker than a special attacker. But you're talking about, that's another reason why I don't want to use my Raid Mon. We're basically talking about building a special attacking Decidueye. Notice that special attack isn't that far down from physical attack. They're very, very, very close in number. 237 to 278 over there. So extremely close in value. Now, the downside I've got here is that all of my Decidueyes, because the way I bred them, have a brave nature. I really want to use something to change that nature so that I have special attack up and then probably special defense down. That sounds weird, but I think that's going to be the best possible build for a special attacking Decidueye, because a lot of people are going to see Decidueye and they're going to go physical attack, because obviously physical defense is a bit lower. So having EVs and special attack and HP with special defense down is going to be a much better build than speed down. Especially in this, we don't want to give our opponent any more advantages than they really deserve. So that, in my opinion, is going to be probably one of the strongest builds for the upcoming raid. I think Decidueye probably takes the cake above all else. Goldingo might be the only one that actually ekes this one out. But if our opponent is Crunch, then Decidueye, especially after you Terrastalize, is going to be significantly better. And you can Terrastalize pretty early by just spamming Giga Drain 3 times and then Terrastalize, and then even if they have Crunch, you're going to take away that weakness. So there you guys go. 4 individual builds. Check them out. I'll put a link to the other 3 builds down below. So good luck to you on your runs. Let me know down below if you have any other builds you want to see. And let me know what kind of success you saw with the mods that we built.